this is number 5 of 8 that we're doing with all the national park sites. I will start off this Zoom, and then we have Michael Knowlton on here, and Cynthia is going to be helping with this Smoky Mountains, and we're glad that you're here. And Sheila is up in the corner up there. She said she gave up her St. Patrick's Day just for us. So I'm going to go ahead and start. And don't worry, you don't need to take notes. If you are driving, though, please be careful to use the screen that says Steam in the Park. Excellent. So we're recording this, so if you just want to listen and enjoy, and if you need to go back and grab some stuff, you can do that. So we're going to be talking tonight about the lodging and sort of a general schedule and some details and some things to do, and then we'll just sort of spend some time getting to know you. So Michael and Cynthia, if you see things popping up in the chat that we need to stop before to ask questions, feel free to interrupt and do that, okay? I will tell you the Great Smoky Mountains is probably one of my favorite places ever. I grew up in the Great Smoky Mountains, camping every year. Steve and I sort of met in the Great Smoky Mountains, and so there's a lot of specialness here, and this will be the end of our summer. We're ending up steaming the park there. So we're going to be staying at the Tremont Institute. So the Tremont Institute is a nonprofit. For those of you that have been to Acadia before, it's like Schoodic, but it's less glamorous than Schoodic, but it is right in the heart of the Smoky Mountains. Once you drive over the little bridge in the white water, you're under trees. You're right there with bears and raccoons and porcupines and all the things. If you know anything about the Smokies, you're about 11 miles from Elkmont, and you're about 4 miles from Cades Cove. So the road that connects the Sugarlands Visitor Center, and then it goes in, and you have Elkmont on your left. Once you keep running up this road, Tremont will be a turn to your left, and then a couple miles above that is Cades Cove, which will be one of our trips that we're going to be taking while we're there. So this is called a barrack kind of dorm room. There are 2 main floors. One is the women's floor. We're going to be on the first floor, just so we don't have to carry our luggage up to the second floor because there are no elevators. So we're letting the guys do that. And the guys will be on the second floor. There are 2 to 3 multiple stall showered bathrooms on each floor. On each floor, there are bunk beds, tons of bunk beds. And there are also some room separations on each floor where there's maybe 5 bunk beds in one little room and maybe a couple over here. But this is not wild camping because we're going to be inside, but it's going to be a little bit different because we're not in a hotel room. But I promise you, when you get there, you're going to be amazed and you're just going to be smiling all the time. Because these are bunk beds and such, you will need to bring, and this is on the Padlet, you will need to bring your sleeping bag and pillow. A couple of things you need to think about too is bring your own toiletries. And if you're going to dry your hair while you're there, you can bring that. But what I suggest is that you just think about things that you need. And then on the travel document, you can say, hey, I'm bringing a hair dryer. And someone said, well, good, I can't get one packed in my book bag. And so we'll have extra stuff there. So towels, sleeping bags, and blankets. Now these rooms are heated and air conditioned. So they're not like horribly primitive or anything like that. And it does get chilly here because we're going to be in August, but you're going to be under the trees, right in where the creek is and the whitewater that's running right through the camp. You will have no trouble sleeping at night because the water is loud. And if you like those sort of things, which I do. So I have this app on my phone and it plays this every night, just as loud as I can get it. Now, I'll let you hear it. So it's a wonderful sound, and I've been probably using it for 12 years. Steve, my husband, thinks it sounds like frying bacon. So he's like, you forgot to turn on your bacon tonight, but you're going to have that sound, that beautiful sound of whitewater. We're going to be eating. There is a dining room, but there's also this outdoor pavilion. There are about 20 plus of those rocking chairs, and these rocking chairs overlook the whitewater. So the water runs right through our camp. We're going to be having our breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a cafeteria style area right beside of this. I will let you know that there will be some vegan, dairy-free, and gluten-free choices at each meal, but there's not going to be a lot of them. So if that's something that you have to have, just bring these extra things that you might need to supplement your diet while you're there. But there will be a choice of each of these at each of our meals, and they have their own staff there cooking for us. So I'm going to minimize this so you can sort of see this. It's sort of the schedule. Now, please don't hold me to it exactly this way, because we're still waiting for the Rangers to finalize some things. But as you can see, we're going to be coming in on August 15th. You can come in anytime that day, but we'll start registration around 3 o'clock. If you need to come in early and you just want to park your car and walk around and sit on the porch or in the rocking chairs, please feel free to do that. But we'll start registration around 3 o'clock. We'll let you get settled. We'll have our first dinner cookout, and then we'll have our opening. And we're going to have our opening at the tribal council. So there's this huge round building outside that is open aired, and it's where the campfire is, and it's what they call the tribal council. So if you've done anything with Indian guides or Indian princesses or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, this will make a lot of sense to you. On the second day, our first full day will be our first ranger program. We'll have a couple of those. We're then going to be participating in the otter spotting project, where we're going to learn about the otters and being part of the research team that does otter spotting for them. There will also be early morning birding hikes for anybody that wants to go before 8 a.m. breakfast, and we'll have those all set up for you also. Thinking about the birding hikes, and just in general, if you have a pair of binoculars and you want to bring those, feel free to do that. This would be a place that you would really be able to use those. Our dinner that night, and then a campfire and a work session. So there is a conference center right beside that outdoor pavilion, and that's where we'll do a lot of our work at night, where we'll put chart paper up around the room, and we'll sort of debrief and reflect and start putting out our thoughts so we can build our lessons together. The second full day is going to be another ranger program. Our lunch time, there'll be a hike with the rangers after that, and then there's some free time. They have some vans there, and for those that want to, we're going to go to Cades Cove. So Cades Cove is this 11-mile auto tour where you're going to see hopefully some bear and some deer and some other animals. Just look that up on the computer. It's called Cades Cove. And then there's places that we can stop and see some of the old buildings there, a working grist mill and other things like that. So that's our free time. You do not have to go on that trip. You can stay and hike. You can fish if you want to. You can take a nap. Anything you want to do during that time, but that will be offered as a trip for anybody that would like to go. That evening program is going to be a Cherokee Indian tribal storytelling event. So the Tremont Institute is providing their Cherokee storytellers that are going to come in and talk to us and tell some stories. And that's also going to be our NASA dark sky night. And we're going to have telescopes out there, and you're going to be able to see the Milky Way. So if you've never seen the Milky Way before, this is probably going to be a good chance for you to see that. Something else that you're going to see a lot of, not as much as you would in June, but you're going to see the synchronous fireflies, because they're actually continuing every year their stay in the Smoky Mountains gets a little bit longer. So we're sort of going to be on the tail end of the synchronous fireflies. So it's going to be pitch dark there at night. We're suggesting that you bring either a headlamp or flashlights. And if you don't have headlamps, we'll have a couple of those with us. But you're going to be wanting to watch where you're going at night when you're moving from the dormitory to the cabin or to the outdoor place where you can sit, because you don't want to walk off a path, or you don't want to walk off and fall into the river that runs through this. Our third day is going to be another ranger program. We're hiking to the waterfall. We're having a boxed lunch on the hike. We're going to be having art in the park. So we're going to be doing some native art crafts with some of the native peoples there that have been there. Their generations have been there. And then we'll do literacy in the park. Our whole STEAM in the Park group is actually going to be doing a book called What's in Your Pocket. And every person that comes to camp will get that book, and we're going to be using that book to sort of guide our learning. But Michael also introduced a book to me not long ago called A Walk. Michael, help me.
It's A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson.
Yes, it's on my bedstand. I've read it twice. So it's a book that you might want to look at, but it's a guy that decided he didn't do much with his life, or he wanted to do more, and he walks the Appalachian Trail, and the Appalachian Trail is right around where we're going to be. So that's going to be an interesting piece of our time together. And then we will end that up on August 19th. We'll be through by 10:30 a.m. so you can catch whatever you're catching to leave. So as you know, we're tying all of this to the UN Global Goals. And the park asked that we tie this one to quality education, talking about outdoor education and social and emotional learning. So one of our pieces of this event, which is the only one we're doing like this, is we're going to be talking about SEL and social and emotional learning, and how all learning does have an emotional base. So what I'm getting ready to show you is the waterfall. So in the chat window, while this is playing and you're hearing it, I want you to drop in words that you're thinking of while you think of this waterfall. So this is one of the hikes that we'll go to. And the second part of this video is where we will have our group picture. So get ready with your typing fingers in the chat window. Just what comes to your mind when you see and hear this? All right, let me stop that for a minute. So let's see, Michael and Cynthia, y'all call out some of the words that you saw or heard.
Relaxing, serene, peaceful, and stress-free. We all need that.
Rejuvenating, inviting, transformations, wonder, beauty.
Yeah, so that's what we're hoping that you will feel. If you've never been to the Great Smoky Mountains, this is going to be a treat. We're going to be feeling all these things, and we're going to try to decide how we're going to build some content that we can take back to our kids to help them experience what we experienced by just going outside, even in their own neighborhoods, and experiencing nature. So I'm really excited to let you be part of this. I'm going to share my screen again and take you just to the last piece that I have for you, and then we'll get some questions. So these are some things we'd like for you to take care of as soon as you can. Michael and Cynthia, if you guys can just switch off, one take the first one take the second one, and so on, and copy paste these into, I think you can copy paste from mine, or you may not be able to. Actually, let me do it. If you can do it, let me know, Michael. I know I shared this, but these are some things we want you to try to do as soon as you can. And after I grab this one, I will talk about it for a second. All right, so these are some of our documents that we want you to have. One of those is the travel document. So if you're thinking about how you're going to get there, this will be a great place for you to go and see, oh, well, they're flying into Knoxville. I can ride that last hour with them. Or maybe they're driving and I don't think I can bring a sleeping bag. Can you ask somebody? Steve and I are going to be bringing 8 sleeping bags with us because we're going to be flying back from Crater Lake, going to the house, filling up our car again, and driving to the Smoky Mountains. The other document that you want to try to get into is the yearbook. So we want you to add your information to the yearbook, and that's actually, not even sure which one that is that I put in there. Maybe the second one. We just want to get to know you. And we have a company that in October is going to print this yearbook for us, and you're going to get a bound copy of it. So while we're there, we're going to be adding more pictures to those Google slides, and then they will let you, or they are going to print and bind for us, which I think is kind of exciting. And then your headshots. If you haven't been able to put a headshot in, the press releases are ready to go next week. We just had to wait this week to finalize with people. So put those headshots in there so that I can celebrate you to all of the world. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute and let you guys ask some questions, some general questions, or any kind of questions you have about our trip to the Smokies. Just unmute if you have one and ask away. Nothing? What was that? Yeah, unmute and ask away, John. Wait a minute, she's got to unmute you. There you go.
All right. You mentioned we can go fishing.
Yes.
Where can we get the fishing license? Because Tennessee has their own fishing license.
Yeah, so we're working on that right now through Tremont, and we will be working on, you can get an online fishing license, and we're trying to get a waiver for an education waiver. So we'll let you know that a month before we go out there. And because we're on private property, it's a little bit different. So that's going to help us do an online thing.
Yeah, I know I can get one online. I didn't know whether they have 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, 5 day, whether you can get them there at the park when you first show up or not. A lot of places will do that at the park.
Yeah, great question. And we will have that information to you at least a month ahead of time. So you'll have plenty of time to do that. But I know that some things that people are excited about is getting to fish there. There is of course, as you know, limits on how big things have to be before you throw them back. And they're really big on catch and release there. So more of catching and not eating, and because we're not going to be able to eat them there. But yes. All the information is answering my questions. Yep. Travel. Is anyone flying there? Okay. So Knoxville is one of the best places to fly into. You can also fly into Nashville, but that's going to be a little bit longer of a drive there. On the Padlet, we've given you some suggestions of places that you can fly in. Let's see, who else?
I have a question or a couple of
Yeah.
questions. I'm sure that these logistical things will come, but I'm looking for probably like a waiver, probably like some kind of dietary restriction form, something like that, photo permissions, that'll all come.
So Amanda, when you registered, when you applied and then we said you're in, you registered. And when you registered, you did your dietary, your medical conditions and things like that. The waiver that comes from our nonprofit, we will send you that a couple weeks before we head out, and we'll just ask you to make sure you read it. But then when you get on site, you will sign a waiver. It just means be careful because we're just a nonprofit. So be very careful. Okay. But you will get that before you go. If you're not sure that you did your dietary stuff, you can reach back out to me with an email and I can go back into the document and see.
Oh, no, thanks. That's good. If by our application we did that, I was just wondering if we were going to be looking for more of that coming from Tremont, but that is.
Nope. I will share it with Tremont and I will make sure I'll say, okay, we have 3 dairy-free people and here are their names, and they'll make sure there's 3 things there for those dairy-free. And if you're gluten-free, they'll do that too. Just please bring things to supplement, especially for the specialty diets.
All right. And has anybody thought, or is there any thought about like a swag table or like swap table if we have like, I don't know, I'm thinking of like Conservancy water bottles and stuff to bring. Is there a way or any thought to that?
Michael,
Prizes, that kind of thing.
yeah, I think that's a great idea. From us, you're going to get your Steam in the Park t-shirt and a water bottle and your journal and your book. But, if you have things you want to bring, I don't have any problem with that. Gift cards, Louis Vuitton bags, whatever you have that you want to give away. More?
Yeah, I'm a runner, so I'll probably go for a run once or twice that week. If anybody wants to do that, welcome to go out with me.
Yeah, so Matt is a runner. Matt and I've known each other for 10 years or plus. He's a teacher where I used to live, and he saw this on Facebook, and obviously we want him there. He's very crunchy granola. He's going to be a good match for Michael. Y'all are going to be best friends talking about the walk in the woods and such. So if you are a runner or an avid hiker, just make sure you bring appropriate shoes. There are no really paved areas at this camp. This is a camp, so we're gonna be walking on dirt and gravel and such. So make sure that you have good shoes with good tread on them. Any other?
You're just so thorough with all the information. Everyone's like, got it.
I don't know about that. All right, so I'm going to share the screen again, and Michael, if you will lead them through. So Michael's going to ask you some would you rather things, and you can either yell them out or type them in the chat window. Michael, you can decide what you want them to do, but I'll let you call them out, Michael.
Okay. Let's try the chat box for our first exercise. Would you rather summer or winter?
What are they saying? I can't see.
We have a neither spring, spring and fall, which I agree with. We have summers. We have 2 winters, 2 summers. Looks about 50-50 overall right now. And several for spring and fall too. So
Nice.
mixture here.
All right, here's the next one.
Would you rather the mountains or the beach? Ooh, I see 2 mountains right away, 3 mountains right away, and then 4 beaches or in a row. So there's both. Both seems to be the most common answer here.
All right, well, you'll have mountains and then water, so that'll be good. So by the way, this is tea. Amy picked this picture out, but I'll just let you know that up front.
Okay, so whiskey or
No, you heard me.
tea or coffee? Coffee, coffee, coffee. We'll have to make sure we bring some good coffee with us, Dacia.
Yeah, so every morning the cafeteria area, dining hall will be open with coffee earlier than the breakfast starts, but there are no coffee makers in the room. So if it might be a good time to give up caffeine, or it might be that you just get into the dining hall in the morning and get your coffee.
Okay, we have pizza or pasta. Pizza, 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 pizza. Couple pastas. And Amanda admits that's a tough one. Would you rather cats or dogs? Uh-oh, what happened? So it looks like we have a healthy mixture of cats and dogs again. I mean, we are just the most well-rounded group of individuals that we could possibly take to camp. Would you rather looks like clean or shop, or go grocery shopping? My wife's laughing at me. Looks like just a hard no. Either. Free thinkers unite.
And this is our last one.
Would
That's
you
a
rather?
music or podcast.
Okay, music or podcasts? And looks like music is the predominant response, and a couple of podcasters, a few podcasters.
Well, let's take just a hot moment because I didn't get to jump into your breakout room at the last thing. So we'll do it really quickly, but just your name and where you're coming from. And how about this? Your name, don't even say where you're coming from. We can find that out. Your name and what you're excited about on this adventure. Amanda, we'll start with you.
Hello, I'm Amanda Schuster. I'm the program manager at the Conservancy for Cuyahoga Valley National Park. And I am the most excited about, I don't know, I really felt my heart skip a beat when otter spotting was mentioned. So that seems like an activity that speaks to me, but I'm just really looking forward to meeting everybody and spending time too.
Great. Sheila and John, we'll let you unmute and go together.
Okay. I'm Sheila Fredericks, and what I'm really excited about is taking pictures down there. The Smoky Mountains are gorgeous.
And I'm John Fredericks. I go by Fred. I'm retired now, but I like being in the outdoors. I like hunting, fishing, being in the mountains, walking streams and stuff. This lady is the beach person. I'm the mountains person. So
You won.
And he's also, since he retired and when COVID hit, he's been volunteering and subbing in my school.
All right, nice. So this will be a good break for you. Thank you. Dana, what about you?
Hi, I'm Dana. I am most excited about hiking and exploring, but also I'd love to fly fish. I just don't know how. I'm gonna have to have my sons teach me before I get there.
Perfect. That'll be great. If you're going to do that, make sure you bring some type of waders or something, because that you'll be right in the water with that. And we're probably going to be standing in the water for our waterfall picture. We're waiting on the logistics for that. So you might want to bring some shoes that you might can get wet. So we'll let you know way before that happens. But all right, Lori.
Okay, I'm Lori. I'm really excited just about the whole experience and love waterfalls. I've done a waterfall tour in Michigan where I live, and also all the hiking.
Nice. Jen.
Hey everyone, I'm Jen, and I don't know, there's so many things to be excited about. I don't know if I could pick just one, but if I had to pick just one thing, I guess it would just be being unplugged and just like out of the whole loop of society for a whole week right before school starts, and just getting my Zen on before the crazy begins. But I'm also super excited about all the Native American programming with the Cherokees that we're doing, because that's such a huge part of the 4th grade curriculum in social studies. So I'm really excited to share some of what I learned with my team.
Nice. Great. Paisha, which rhymes with Daisha. So we're going to be very confused when we're there. It's the first time I'm going to have somebody that rhymes with me.
Hi, I just want to say that when you were mentioning about the otters, my daughter was in the other room listening. So don't be surprised if I have an extra in my bag when we get there, because she's really excited about that part.
Nice.
For me, I'm just really excited. Whenever we go on vacation, I love just going out and having peace and quiet. And I just find my happy place with there's no sound and all you hear is the water or the birds or whatever it is that you're hearing out there. That's just what I love.
Great. Matt?
I am most excited. I'm a big John Muir guy, so I'm looking forward to just, like everybody else, just connecting in the woods and being mindful and mindful of the words of John Muir. Just gleaning what I can out of this.
Nice. Cynthia?
Sorry, I had loud puppies. I have a little 5-month-old puppy who is huge right now, and he's wild. I am super excited about being in such a glorious place and using the space around us to collaborate and create content connections for kids, and just being able to be with all of you and pick your brains. So I'll be picking all of your brains.
We'll let you do that. Jen?
Hey, I'm the other Jen. We'll have to figure out some way of differentiating ourselves. This happens a lot. If you are a Jen of a certain age, I suppose. I'm really looking forward to everything, but also being in the Smokies, experiencing a little more of the like Southern Appalachian ecosystem. So, you know, up here in Pittsburgh, we're sort of on the edge of that. Yeah, also, dirty little secret, excited about getting away from the house, the family. You know, it's been a long time.
That's an okay thing to do. One of the things we say that we're going to go to connect, create, and connect, collaborate, and create, but we're also going to go to renew, reflect, and refresh. So that's what we want you to be able to do also. Wendy, what about you?
I am most excited about waterfalls and mountains. I haven't been to that area since high school, which was not recently, and very excited to get back there and be in such a different ecosystem than the one I live in. And today is my birthday, so thank you all for celebrating it with me.
Oh, great. We're all here for you. Michael, what about you?
My name is Michael Knowlton. I'm most looking forward to getting back to my happy place, which is in the middle of nowhere. And I love having the purpose of connecting with you all and being around like-minded professional educators. So I'm excited to learn from you all this summer and take it back to Florida.
Nice. Robert.
See here. Hello, everybody. I am looking forward actually to the drive. I rebuilt an old station wagon over the pandemic, and I'm looking forward to taking that up to the mountains. And then over Christmas, we got some ferrets. So I got to go see the otters. I mean, they're just like the biggest ferrets. So they're like water ferrets. So I mean, you can't get any better than that.
Right. And there's really great chances that we will see bears just because we are right in the middle of the Smokies. We're butted right up to the forest. So we will be safe and we'll do really good stuff, but there's great chances that you're going to see black bear too. So I think that's going to be fun. Katie.
Hi, I am looking forward to, it's been kind of a wild school year, so it's nice to have something to look forward to kind of refresh and recharge and start over next year. And I'm also looking forward to the fireflies.
Nice. Yeah. And we will be seeing those as soon as it turns dusk each night. Deanna?
Hold on. Sorry. Trying to multitask here. So Deanna Neal, and photography and hiking, just like a few other people said. Actually looking forward, I was thinking about that this weekend on what lenses I need to bring and that kind of stuff. So,
well, since you're mentioning that, and Sheila did too, one of our ranger talks will be on how to capture wildlife with photography. And they're not expecting you to bring big cameras. So if you don't have that, they're going to be able to show you how to do that just using your phones, and how you can really look at things in thirds. If you're a photographer, you know there's that vernacular, but how to look at things in thirds and really get some great pictures. And then Robin.
Hello. I am from the Midwest, so I'm really excited about the mountains. I've never really explored them. And so it's going to be a whole new ecosystem for me to explore. I also really love the idea of finding new ways. We have a lot of wild areas where I live. And so finding ways for me to bring that to my students. I'm excited about that as well.
And that's something you'll probably want to talk to Michael about too. He is taking the idea of STEAM in the parks and taking it to a smaller audience, but he's going to be doing some of the same things next year in his district with places around where he lives, and bring in educators and finding the STEAM in local parks and places that he would celebrate in Florida. So